Welcome to the FRC Top 25 for week number 5. Hey, only 17 events took place, which means there's a great opportunity for your team to hop in the top 25 this week. We'll, of course, go through our top 25, mention our top 50 with some shout-outs, go through our snubs, our clips of the week, and we got some awesome giveaways as well, too. So let's get ready for the FRC Top 25. This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. Discover how Kettering University students engineer their success with Kettering's amazing co-op employment programs where students earn great pay and gain valuable experience. Those accepted into Kettering University can apply for a robotics scholarship, providing up to an additional $5,000 a year in tuition assistance. Head on over to kettering.edu/first to learn more and apply. Support Fun's content creators when you sign up for a membership on YouTube Join. You'll get access to special perks like emotes, loyalty badges, and Fun members will even get early access to our scheduled videos and more. 100% of this revenue will go back to our correspondents to help recognize their efforts. Click the join button in any YouTube video to pledge your support. Welcome to the FRC Top 25 for Week 5 for Fun FRC. I'm Tyler Olds.
I'm Ari McMahon.
I'm Ryan Swanson.
And I'm Justin Montoy. So a strange week where all of us on the show here weren't competing. But Tyler, you were out at the Las Vegas Regional, which was one of the best events of the whole year. I know you enjoy it immensely. So how was it? What was it like for you?
Oh, yeah, I do enjoy the Las Vegas Regional. Absolutely phenomenal event. I get to work with, in my opinion, one of the best game announcers in the world, George Chen, who is out of California. He's come by the last few years to work that with me. And despite my voice not recovering before the Las Vegas Regional, it kind of hasn't recovered still now. But overall, Las Vegas Regional was a great event. We didn't have any robot fires this year. We didn't have any 2-hour delays. So I call that a win, personally, on that. I mean, we'll be diving into some of these teams, but wow. I mean, High Tide is nuts with their rebuild that they had. It was really cool to watch that come through. 97 definitely improved a lot. I was very happy to see Paradise Robotics get the Impact Award, especially when they got knocked. And I think many of them thought their season was over. And then they get the Impact Award. It was, obviously I get the script early as an MC. So to see that put a smile on my face before the award ceremony started. So no, it's a great event. Past what Las Vegas is, being the incredible city that it is anyways. It's at the UNLV basketball arena, which is massive. And it's just a cool thing. We had teams from 5 countries come in. I thought that was pretty cool too. We had like a really good Netherlands team, a really good Australian team that I got to meet, both of them and talk for a while. It was cool stuff. So shout out to everybody that I got a chance to stop and talk to. If I didn't get a chance, hopefully, at another event or next year as well too, but always good to be at Las Vegas.
Awesome. Ryan and Arj, I know you guys are both busy prepping for your final events of the season. Did you get a chance to watch any events this weekend?
Yeah, I followed Midwest really closely through and through. I feel like it'll be a good kind of a similar to how our event week 6 is going to play out. Really fun to watch all the different strategies alliances employed in the playoffs. I think both finalist alliances employing a blocker throughout the playoffs, and then Alliance 1 changing to source defense, I thought was pretty notable. So yeah, a very fun event to watch. I thought very strategically detailed too. And yeah, I'm looking forward to taking what I've learned from that event and competing next week at the brand new Granite City Regional.
Awesome.
Yeah, taking what we learned and competing next week was all about what I was doing this weekend. New England was kind of quiet. We had 2 events that were going on. We had the WPI event and UNH event. I was watching a little bit of WPI because we had some teams that were out there that we've competed with in the past. Maybe that you'll hear about tonight, who knows? But definitely fun to watch how those 2 events played out and how we'll get to see the rest of the events play out at the New England District Championship this coming week.
Ari, did you watch the 50-minute alliance selection?
No, luckily I was watching WPI at that point. Can't imagine watching the 50-minute alliance selection. I love alliance selections. I don't know if I could watch a live stream for 50 minutes.
Events are won and lost during alliance selections. That's the best. That's to me the best part. But 50 minutes is a little excessive.
Yeah.
Justin, what about you, man? What were you catching this last week?
So I didn't actually
sleep.
Yeah, definitely a lot of sleep. This was probably the least event or the least number of matches I watched, but I did watch the McMaster finals. I was interested to see how 2056 had evolved their strategy play over from their first district event. They truly are, I think, the best team in FRC right now. So I really wanted to get a glimpse of how they played on the finals as a maybe a little bit of a preview to see how some of these elite teams will be playing in Houston.
Yeah, I'm excited to go. I'm going to Toronto on Thursday. I can't wait to check them out. It's going to be a lot of fun to see them and all the awesome teams. We'll be talking about where our travels are all taking us week 6 in a little bit as well too. But before we do that, just a couple things, reminders for the FRC Top 25, especially if you are brand new. First off, welcome into the FRC Top 25. A few things. You're going to notice some stats on screen that come up. These are from our friends at Statbotics as we go through different points levels and stuff. These don't really have any implications on the rankings themselves, but just another data point for you to go off of as well too. So big shout out to Statbotics.io for being just an incredible resource site. I don't know about you all, but it right now, this is like the number one set I keep going to from a first robotics standpoint. It's great to just dive in and see all the data points and kind of see everything go. So if you don't know about Statbotics, go there. There's so many great things for you to learn from as well too on that. So good times all around. So just a reminder, we're going to be going through our top 25. In the middle of some of that, we'll take a couple breaks where we have a couple giveaways to do, clips of the week as well too. And then we'll be going through some top 50 shout outs and also some snubs that didn't make the top 50 as well too. But let's hop into the top 25 for week number 5. Ryan's going to kick us off with number 25, a team that I got to see this weekend.
All right. Yeah. Starting off our top 25 countdown from Carson, California, it's team 687, the Nerd Herd. They're sitting at 28-18 on the season, and they were finalists at both the Los Angeles and Las Vegas regionals. 687 was the 3rd overall pick at the Las Vegas regional this past week, where they teamed up with 91-25 and 24-03. The 3rd seeded alliance, led by 687's 4-piece auto and top-notch teleop cycling, only lost one match in the playoffs on their way to the finals. They ran into a buzzsaw number 1 seed alliance, but they played very well nonetheless. We'll be seeing 687 at champs due to their engineering inspiration win at the Los Angeles regional in week 3. Congrats to 687 on a successful year so far, and we're looking forward to seeing what you bring to champs.
They're a really great team. We did interview them for Behind the Bumper, so I'll be coming out the next day or two. 687 was an awesome team to talk to, really knowledgeable on what their robot was. So shout out to the students that we did interview on that. It's a really great interview. So go check that out when it does. But yeah, I mean, when you're that team and you're going into against the number 1 seed of High Tide and also with High Tide and High Rollers and stuff like that. That's a pretty tough order to fulfill. But 687 overall, I think, still has a really good robot. It's something, once again, we talk about California teams getting overshadowed. This is definitely one of them. I'm glad to see they made the top 25, especially in a week when you look at last week, we had 38 events. This week when we have 17, I think we get to see some teams that maybe didn't win an event or something like that, but are still getting great recognition by the community too.
Yeah, you could say that number 1 alliance in Las Vegas set a pretty high bar. But carrying on, up next, coming in at number 24 from Carmel, Indiana, it's team 868, the Tech Hounds. With 2 district event wins under their belt, it's no surprise they're ranked first in the Finn district. 868 carries the unique distinction of captaining 2 alliances outside of the top 2 to win an event. They were the 5th captain at Plainfield and the 3rd captain at the Finn Washington event. All of their playoff runs have been battles, with narrow margins of victory in nearly every match. 868 has a framework for a 6-note auto that typically hits at least 4. 868 is also an extreme rarity in the top 25. I don't know, they might be our first tall robot to crack the list. The fact that they can't drive under the stage has not held them back, and they're going to be a top contender this week at the Indiana State Championship.
Yeah, interesting team for sure. Go ahead, Ari.
Yeah, one of the most unique archetypes in terms of the game. Like, there are not very many tall robots in general, nonetheless successful tall robots. So I think seeing them and watching them play in their play style has been very interesting, and how they evolve with that will be very interesting too.
And chat, let us know if it's caramel or caramel in chat, by the way. the correct answer is caramel, by the way. But
the correct answer is indeed caramel.
More specifically for the city that they're in, right? But
I'll give it that. All right. Next up at number 23 from Grosse Pointe, Woods, Michigan, it's Night Vision. 3175 has started off the season really strongly with an impressive record of 30-9. They've been finalists at both of their district events as both a captain and a first pick of the number 1 alliance. 3175 showing at the Macomb district event proved that they're going to be a threat to make a deep run on their district championship field. Despite ending in back-to-back close losses, 3175 is currently ranked 14th in the Michigan district with a Quokka-style design executed to perfection. 3175 runs a solid 5-piece auto using the close notes and one from the center. They focus on taking high percentage shots from the subwoofer whenever they can, and they're also incredibly efficient on the amp. I shared a division field with these guys at Champs last year, and I can say they're an awesome group to work with, and I'm expecting big things from Night Vision moving forward this year.
So is it just bad luck for this team or what? Because they were the number 1 seed at their first event and then the first pick of the other one. And third, and I agree. I think they're a really good team. So I don't know if they just had bad luck at a couple matches or if the way back around didn't form a complete alliance for them or what. But yeah, Night Vision's been very, very good this year.
Couldn't agree more, Tyler. I think it's more of a fluke than anything that they haven't taken home a banner, but I could see them turning that around at the Michigan State Championship. They're a team that they're going to be in the top 3 on their field. They're going to be a top 3 picker captain, and they have a real shot at making a run, I think.
If only we knew what divisions were at time of recording.
Yeah. Real quick, they're a Cranberry Alarm style archetype, not a Quokka. But I think
Alarm
they're honestly the best Cranberry Alarm archetype that I have seen, which is why I correct you. But
no, I couldn't agree more. I apologize for getting that wrong. Cranberry Alarm, couldn't agree more that they executed to perfection. That was the biggest takeaway that I had. All right. In our 22nd spot, we have Team 4678, the Cyber Cavs. Out of Breslau, Ontario, Canada, the Cyber Cavs are coming off their first event win of the season at the Windsor Essex Great Lake District event. 4678 ranked first out of quals with a record of 9-3. From there, they would have a clean sweep in the playoffs, winning most of their matches by 20 points or more. 4678 is an extremely effective feeder, and during their playoff run, they were also frequently not only feeding their alliance partners, but also running full field cycles themselves. They were really the engine that made their playoff alliance operate as well as it did. With so many great teams in Ontario, 4678 has proven that they're going to be in the mix and have a chance to make a deep playoff run at the district championship this week.
This team always builds like just cool looking robots every year. When I think back all the way back to like 2016 with this team as well too. Like every single year they kind of just have this something that's a little unique or a little bit different. And 4678 looking really good, especially after having kind of a rough finals in their first event just I think they were at Waterloo a couple weeks ago. Coming out and performing the way they are, I agree with you, Ryan. I think this is a contender for sure in a division. Looking at where this team could potentially do it, and depending on how divisions line up for them.
Just one of those teams too that has really benefited from districts. Like I feel like with the Ontario team, sometimes you kind of get overshadowed by the 2056, 11, 14 of it all. But this team has really taken off ever since we had the Ontario district like establish itself. So really glad to see 4678 on here, and can't wait to continue to see what they do.
Couldn't agree more. All right. Next up at number 21, we have Team 133, Bert, out of Standish, Maine. With a season record coming in at 26-10, Bert is carrying on their consistent excellence in the New England district. After coming up just short of a blue banner in their first event at the Pine Tree event, 133 took it home this past weekend at the UNH district event. With a record of 9-3 after quals, Bert ranked 4th and selected 172 and 1350 to join them on the 4 seed. From there, they wouldn't lose again as they swept their way through the playoffs. They wound up beating the number 1 seed 3 times on their way to the event win. Currently ranked 10th in the New England district, 133 will look to follow up on last year's success by winning their second consecutive division field at the New England District Championship.
Love 133 this year. I'm so excited about them. They have a total trap score, OPR, of 0.98 out of 1. So they are hitting the trap in every single match. They are so consistent at it, and I love watching them do it. Just a really solid robot on the field. 133, I am so glad you are not in our division because I don't want to face you guys, but I would love to stick my head in your robot this weekend. For sure.
Yeah, that's an absolutely crazy end game score that they have. I think in the top 25, they are the highest this week. I don't know if they're the highest overall, but they are the highest this week in the top 25 of teams that we have on here. So yeah, and as we talk about, we talked how that meta is going to change, right, and how much more important trap really could become, especially as we get into championships and that sort of thing too, where it will be interesting to see, if teams like that, even though you might have output that's maybe just a little bit lower in their autonomous versus some other teams, that trap really makes up for it pretty quick for them, especially where if you look at compatibility with other alliances, you might not necessarily need that huge auto when you ally with a good alliance partner at that end. You can just really complete that alliance with a good trap score.
Yep. All right, we're ready to move on to the top 20.
Let's do it, Justin.
All right, sounds good. In the 20th spot, I have Team 971 from Mountain View, California. It's Spartan Robotics, 19-11 overall, and we're the finalists at the Monterey Bay Regional. So after a match 9 lower bracket exit in San Francisco earlier this season, 971 improved on their week 2 performance this past weekend in Monterey. They earned the number 5 seed after quals and were the captain of the number 3 alliance. They selected 69-62 and 51-04 and headed off to the playoffs. They found success early, scoring 119 points without penalties, and only got knocked into the lower bracket after facing the number 1 alliance in round 4. They were able to earn their spot in the finals after the lower bracket final success and punched their ticket to the champs via wild card, which made, I think, a ton of people happy, as their definitely unique robot qualified for World. So congrats to 971 on a awesome robot, a great regional season, and I look forward to seeing the robot in Houston.
What do we make of this robot, everybody, in regards to like the viability of this robot being tank trap? And I watched the recap that was done on this when I was producing it, and I really got to question how far 971 can go in this game for things. One of the things I liked that they did a lot at one point is that they were just being like a quick shuttler where they were picking up and going, and that way they didn't really have to make too many turns or anything like that. But I did see a couple key moments where they were shut down pretty hard against the sword drive and defense. And then the other thing is if they get bumped, it's a little bit longer recovery time for them to realign themselves and go. So I don't know if anybody else wants to be that person to put their self out on the chopping block, but like, is 971, is that a viable robot coming into championships?
We were on their field last year at the on the Johnson division. It was really interesting scouting them and making our pick list and figuring out where they were going to land. I think Swerve is more important this year than it was last year. I think it's really important every year. But I believe they were the 8th overall pick on the field. I think that might be their ceiling this year. But let me say this. How many of you guys thought on kickoff day, yeah, let's do like a clay pigeon launcher as a viable thing? It was like the third thing we thought of. We're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's prototype it. And we're like, wait, no, that's insane. Nobody will do that. That's crazy. Well, 971, if you tell them the meta, they're going to do the opposite thing. And what they have with that robot, I don't care that they're on tank drive. That might be the best engineered robot in FRC. But I agree with you, Tyler. The competitive ceiling, it's limited by lack of swerve.
Sure, the competitive viability is limited, but that robot is just, I love watching that thing. Like, come on. That thing is so creative. It's so different from the meta. It knows friendship, laughter, and the taste of sunshine. Like, it's a beautiful thing, and I'm so glad it's going to be at Champs.
I mean, I want to interview the team. It's a badass robot, no doubt, for something like that, right? But when it comes down to, is that if you are an alliance captain, are you picking that robot? And if I was in that position, I don't know if I could.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like a Swerve elitist, but like we don't even consider picking teams that don't have Swerve. I mean, our regionals we're fortunate enough to have a lot of Swerve drives to pick from, so it didn't end up being an issue. So I don't know how it's going to work out for them. This is, I guess, the year of the rebuild. We've seen multiple teams, multiple high-level teams, do huge rebuilds this season. I mean, you saw Tower High Tide, you saw up close. So
yeah,
who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us all and throw a Swerve drive on the field in Houston.
Not even that. I think there's still potential for that team to even just optimize their driving as well too, for things. And I don't know if that means getting their CG lower or something like that, as well, to where they're not bounced so easily. I personally think there could be a potential for a tank drive. I just think the way that 971 is currently designed right now is just not conducive to playing this game at a super high level.
Yeah. All right. Great discussion there. We're going to move on to the teens. And in the 19th spot, I've got Team 7769 from Royal Oak, Michigan. It's the Crew. An impressive 46 wins, 6 losses, 2 ties overall, with the winners of the Wayne State and Troy number 2 district events. So I was so impressed when I saw their record. With so many teams and so many events, it's very, very difficult to keep track of everything that's going on. And I was super excited to stumble across this team doing my research. They're really awesome robot. So after a finalist performance to start the season, the Crew followed up with with 2 event wins. Their most recent being this past weekend in Troy. They seeded 5th and were selected to join the number 1 alliance along with 494 and 9242. Things were going well until a slight hiccup around 4 where a tiebreak foul went against them and they were dropped to the lower bracket. But they were able to come out on top in the lower bracket and reach the finals. In the finals, they put up an impressive 122 unpenalized in finals 1. Finals 2 and 3 were both very tight matches, but the Crew were able to take the win in match 3, 72-69. So this was a new team for me, a great robot, and good luck at Michigan Champs to 7769, the Crew.
I absolutely love it when teams that I don't recognize their number break into the top 25.
Same, yeah.
I've never heard of 7769. That video is the first time I've watched them. They're awesome, right?
Yeah.
That's a team that deserves more spotlight. I'm glad they have that opportunity on this show.
For sure.
They definitely have inside of Michigan. They're very well known, and they definitely have gone. We've had other Michigan hosts on before, and I definitely have heard them talk about the Crew before. This team is currently second in EPA in Michigan right now, and 26th in the world. So
Crazy.
definitely very deserving of that more global recognition that something like you would see in the FRC top 25 as well too. So I'm very happy to see that they are getting that recognition as well, and it's not just Michigan that's recognizing them. They're getting good recognition from areas outside of what is their area as well too. At least that's what, based on the surveys that we do when we ask people, hey, what area you're from, they're getting good recognition outside of Michigan also, which is great.
For sure. All right, moving along into 18th spot. It's going to make Ari very happy. Team 1768 from Bolton, Massachusetts. It's Nashua Robotics, 36-16-0 overall, and we're the winners of the URI and WPI district events. So coming off a week 3 win at URI, 1768 was looking to keep it going at WPI. After quals, they were the 8th seed, but were quickly selected to join 40-48 on the number 1 alliance. In the playoffs, they're able to win their first 3 matches for an express ticket into the finals. There, they did face a tough 2 seed, and each alliance took a win in the first 2 matches. In the decisive rubber match, the number 1 alliance used some efficient cycling and a strong auto to capture the event win. So congrats to 1768 on an impressive district schedule, and good luck at New England district champs. So, all right, I know you've got a lot to say about 1768.
I have been on the 1768 hype train, Neshoba Robotics, by the way, ever since week 1 when we played against them at Hartford. They have just this phenomenal shooter. They can shoot from anywhere in the wing. They've got insane accuracy on that thing. We picked them at URI, won with them, and I was just sold on that robot just completely. So fun fact, at WPI, they actually broke their climber in one of their early matches. So they're the 8th seed despite not having the ability to climb, which is pretty impressive. So they got that fixed. They're going to make an absolutely phenomenal showing at New England District Champs, and I am so excited for it. Just keep that robot on your radar because it is a beautiful thing.
Ari, I think you might be the conductor of the 1768 hype train.
I'm ready.
I love that. All right. Good deal. So moving on to the 17th ranked team, another new team for me is Team 5199 from Dana Point, California. I'm not kidding. It's Robot Dolphins from Outer Space, 25-12 overall, and with the lower bracket finalists at Orange County. So a team that's new to the top 25, they've steadily increased their performance over the season, seeding 10th at their first event, then 9th at their second event, and then we're the number 1 seed this past weekend in Orange County. They opened their playoff run with an impressive 137, but then ran into trouble in match 2 from the powerful 4 Alliance. After dropping into the lower bracket, they continue to play well, earning a spot in the lower bracket finals, where unfortunately it was once again the number 4 Alliance that would knock them out. But 51.99, if you have not seen this robot, they're very small, quick. They've got a kind of pivoting arm that acts as their shooter, utility arm combo. It's just an awesome robot from a team that I had never heard of before. I was able to watch some of their matches, much like we were just talking about with the crew. So a great robot, a new robot, and congrats to 51.99 on an awesome season.
No, forget the robot. Let's talk about this team name, Robot Dolphins from Outer Space. Are you kidding me? I think that might be like there are names that like stick out to me that like, oh, that's a top 5 name that I've heard. That is a top 5 name that I've heard. That is unbelievably cool. Robot's awesome too. I'm really happy they made the list and I became aware of them.
Yeah. So Stanford interviewed them last year for Behind the Bumpers, and they definitely 2 years ago I remember kind of having this team in our watch list as well too. So it's really cool to see. What's not cool is it kind of following that big thread on Cheap Delphi in regards to qualifying for championships. 51.99 did not qualify for championships, and that's a real shame with how good this robot is for things. So I don't know if there's a waitlist opportunity for them or something, but this would be a really cool robot to see in person. So I really hope they have an opportunity to go to Houston.
Definitely. All right, and then last in my section here in the 16th spot is Team 5460 from Flint, Michigan. It's Strike Zone, 34, 18-1 overall, and we're the finalists at the Macomb District event. So 5460 was looking for their first event win of the season in Macomb and earned themselves the number 1 seed with efficient cycling and some impressive auto routines that also earned them the Autonomous Award. Their lines featured 6098 and 3175. They did have a hiccup in match 2, which dropped them in the lower bracket, and they had to battle back to the finals, which they did. The finals were a back and forth battle, where in the decisive match, 5460 was just eked out with a score of 94 to 88. So this robot really does look strong and will no doubt have a say in how their division plays out at Michigan Champs. So good luck to 5460 Strike Zone. And I was actually, just before I saw them on the list, I was thinking like Saturday night before voting was finalized, I was just doing some research on my own, like thinking about teams that normally are very, very good and very competitive that I hadn't heard a lot of this season. I was looking at 5460 and was surprised to see that they, were still looking for their first win, but they have a great robot. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see them play at all, but it'll be interesting to see how they do at Michigan Champs.
So they have an alumni from a Minnesota team here, or sorry, there's an alumni from a Minnesota team that mentors them. So I've always kind of kept tabs on them and, watched from afar at how they're doing. And they're one of my favorite teams to watch this year. Watching just the way they play the game is just really, really, really thrilling for me. I think, couldn't agree more that they're going to be one to watch for in their division at Michigan State Championship.
So I did have an opportunity. We interviewed Strike Zone at Kettering 1, and I saw them. They did have a pretty rough go at Kettering 1 for things, just some unfortunate circumstances. But this is just like the aforementioned Night Vision as well, too, right? This is one of those teams, once again, that's been in high spots and just cannot fully finish all the way on the events. But I agree, going into the first in Michigan State Championships, this has got to be a team in your division that's a locker contender for sure, just depending who else is in that division for things. Last year world finalists as well too, right? So coming in, Strike Zone is pretty much has built a strike, what I expect out of Strike Zone robots now, right? Like just very quick, very efficient robots. Overall, I really like the robot at Kettering 1. I was I'm sure they were more disappointed than I was, but disappointed not to see them take that title. A phenomenal machine. And I think they're going to do quite well at Michigan State's and as they get ready for Worlds.
Yeah, we could do a whole show on this topic, but I think at some point we have to realize that this game is just it's hard to dominate from even from a top seed. There's going to be strong alliances up and down the bracket. I think it's gonna show itself even more as we get in district champs, and especially in Houston. I was looking at some of the I was looking at some of the sports betting options for the Final Four, for example, and one of the cool bets that you could make was like, what is the total the numeric total of the seeds in the final four. So like obviously if all the number one seeds made it, it would be the total would be 4. So if you had a similar bet like that in Houston, what would the number be? Because I do think there's going to be some upsets on divisions, and and Ari was a lower seed that made it out of Archimedes last year. His team. So I think it's going to be even more impactful this year, where it does seem like you can create a powerful alliance from almost any spot.
All right, Justin, I'll give you an over-under of 14. Taking the over-under.
I think I'm going to take the under, but it's a good line. Your line is, I think your line's pretty close.
It's interesting to say that. When you say that, I actually pop back to 971 a little bit, and I know it's blasphemous to say, but 971 could very well end up being a third robot in Alliance and just absolutely dominating and winning a division that way as well too. So that's actually what initially popped in my head, thinking about how this whole thing could line up, where like a 6 seed or something like that could take a division and win. I think it's very possible that we'll see that happen, especially with just how deep this is, and honestly overall how kind of well balanced this game is for things. I'll talk a little about this later because we have a couple more teams on the list that I want to mention for this, but there's something that in recap that Las Vegas regional that just really made me dawned on me hey, this game has a lot of cool balance to it, which I think is great.
Can you imagine getting 971 as your third robot?
I know, right? I mean, we see weird crap like that happen at IRI and stuff like that, but championships, that's what I said. It sounds blasphemous to say. So,
I mean, even in Archimedes last year on our field, 27 and 33.
Yeah,
we're the third robots on the 2 and 1. So
that's nuts.
That was Archimedes.
Yeah, true.
That was a special case. All right, let's move on to our top 15. Out of Burlington, Ontario, Canada, and MM Robinson High School, it's 2200 MM Robotics. Coming off of the McMaster University District, hitting the ensemble and melody in 8 of their 12 matches, MM Robotics is a ranking point generating machine. With a record of 24-11-0, they are currently 9th in the Ontario District. They have a tall shooter on a pivot that reminds me of some 2013 robots, using that to fold up and out in the endgame to trap. Starting the match with either a far side 4 or 4-note center auto, the 2200 machine can play a number of different strategies well, from feeding to cycling. They shoot from beneath the stage with an accurate shot. This is a robot that I'm very excited to see here on the top 25, being a team that would normally fly under everyone's radar, and a team that I'm super excited to see play at the district championship level this coming weekend. So good luck there, 2200.
The joke from a long time ago is we call it Robotics, but
okay. Well, we'll keep that in mind.
No, they have a phenomenal machine and a really cool robot. When I was watching the recap that Emma did of this event, it was really cool just to see this robot negotiate the field the way they were able to. So I'm very excited to see this team in person on Thursday. And this is a team that just very compact machine. The way that the little shooter just pops up just a little bit, shoots and goes. I really like the overall method of gameplay that 2200 has.
We're going to move on to our 14th spot. It's Hall of Fame and Open Alliance team 111 Wildstang. With a record of 16-17-0 and a bit of a slow start to the season, they would bounce back in both of their events to make a solid finals run at both the Central Illinois and Midwest regionals. 111 has been logging their progress on their OA thread this season, letting us experience the wild ride alongside their team. This year, 111 has a vertical shooter that raises to multiple positions to score in the amp. They have a consistent set of autos that can score at either the middle 4 or 2 from the wing, followed by a tele-performance that can shoot over the best of these smiley subwoofer defense robots. The best part of watching 111 play this season has been watching them tune that wing line shot, and now with it working, you can expect 111 to leave an impact at their next event. Congrats on a great season, 111, and we look forward to seeing what you can do at the championship event in Houston.
I really love 111's season arc here. I think it was CIR. They came up against Robotics, and they had maybe it was 63-72. I'm probably getting the number wrong, but a defender, big, smiley blocker at CIR. They ran into him, and they got shut down, badly shut down by a big blocker. And then they come back at Midwest, and they're like, oh, we're just going to have our blocker shut everybody else down. And they use that strategy to great effect to take the 6th seed all the way to the finals. So the season arc there, fantastic. And I think it's not done for 111. They're only going to get better. and they're going to be another one that's a threat at their division at the World Championship.
Yeah, the Midwest Regional is quite stacked as well too. So that have them at division or finalists at the event, not a big surprise. I don't remember, was there a Scorch at Midwest or anything like that? Because they have them as the number 6 alliance captain is really interesting.
No. I can't remember if they declined. There wasn't a Scorch though. I believe it was 23-38, took 359, and I don't recall a Scorch after that. I could be,
Okay.
Maybe Chad can help us out.
But yeah, either way, Ryan, I agree with you. Watching their arc has been really interesting because they had a really slow start at CIR. They had intake issues. The first few matches I watched of them, a note was getting stuck inside the robot, things like that. So just a lot of those unfortunate things that I'm glad they got fixed and are moving in a really good direction for. Is this 111's best robot ever? I don't quite think so, but I think this robot does have a lot of potential to be a really good alliance partner, or even potentially an alliance captain as well too at championships. The robot definitely has all the right things in the right direction. I think there's just some optimization that needs to happen with this machine.
I'm a little biased, but give me 2019 Sting. We went to Einstein with them. The real answer is probably 2003, which only you, Tyler, might be old enough for that. Maybe you, Justin, I don't know.
I remember it. I'll boomer talk for a moment, I guess. Yeah, Wild Sting's 2003 robot was nuts. I mean, it was the first year of autonomous, right? And they essentially had a Pathfinder software in their first year. It was literally grabbing a tablet that was probably cost $10,000 back then and drawing out paths and stuff on how their autonomous worked. It was absolutely insane. I'm going to one-up you, though, on what their craziest robot ever was, and it actually was their 2001 robot. And anytime you have rules that are written because of what your team did, I think is usually an interesting sign of what that is. So the way that the rules worked back then is that it was based on how much weight you put on the field, if I remember correctly, and not how much total weight you had. So Wild Sting had 4 different robot configurations that they would put out, they had a dry base with different toppers that they would put out. I thought that was my freshman year, and I thought that was just the craziest thing. As much as that game was the worst game ever in first, definitely just like 2015, right? It had some interest. Sorry, Justin. Definitely had some interesting designs come out of it, nonetheless.
Guys, that sounds like when robotics was robotics. 4 different robot toppers. That is awesome. So my Wild Sting robot is 2005, my first year at champs, first year seeing all these powerhouse teams in action, and they had this double arm grabber thing that would pick up Tetras from the loading station autonomously, just driving down the side of the field. It was a sight to behold. It was a beautiful robot, even in 2005 standards. Yeah, I have a lot of fond memories of Wild Sting.
I was going to see if I could find it all, but good luck with the 240p video on this.
Yeah, if you could get 240p, that'd be great.
Yeah. So
yeah, can you buy the numbers there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that old yet. My Wild Sting robot is 2023, so we know that.
All right. Well, if you want the history, go on TVA. There's some match videos on there that you can check out of these cool machines.
Rewind episode maybe. All right. We're going to move on, though, to the present. So moving up to number 13, out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and West Catholic High School. If you're wondering who this team is, you're closer than you think. It's Enigma Robotics, Team 2075. With a record of 27-7-1, they were the finalists at the Barron Springs District and rank 1 in winners at the Kentwood District. This robot is deceptively simple at first glance, but it's optimized to run with the best of Michigan engineering. With an inside-outside collector, vertical shooter, and flip-up trap scoring, 2075 is one of the most consistent robots on the Crescendo field. Their collection is quick, and their autos showcase their excellent intake transitions. Congrats on a great season so far, and it certainly won't be Enigma when this team ends up as one of the top teams in their division at District Champs this week. Which I wish we knew what they were, but you know.
Yeah, Enigma is really, really good. This is a team that I feel like the last few years we keep saying they're really, really good. One thing I'd like to see them do is really, really win their division this year. And this team has a lot of things that are going in the right direction. EPA-wise, if you haven't looked at it, they're 3rd in EPA in Michigan as well, too. But just overall, very good compact design, very simple design, honestly. It just is able to do cycles really quick. And I really, really like what Enigma's robot is this year. I watched a little bit of Kentwood earlier today. It was cool to see them on the field and just zipping around really, really fast and getting those cycles going.
They were on our division last year, the Johnson Division 2023, and well, they ranked first and when they won the division. So they're fully capable of winning divisions there, Tyler.
Yeah. I'm just saying I personally really want them to win a division.
Oh, no, I totally agree. They are fun to watch. They were also super nice, too. I feel like everybody in the Johnson Division last year was just fantastic to work with.
Moving on up to our 12th spot. Out of Swanee, Georgia and North Gwinnett High School, it's 1771 North Gwinnett Robotics. Currently number 1 in the Peachtree District with the 3rd best auto EPA in the world with a record of 32-3-0. 1771 is not a team to miss this season. Rank 1 and winners of the Gwinnett and Albany districts this season, 1771 is a zippy and flippy machine. They've got a vertical shooter on an arm that pivots up to aim, amp, and trap. We talked about this robot in week 3 at the 14 spot, and this week they saw more defense and a higher level of play. But they certainly demonstrated that they'll be able to face off with the best at district champs and the championship levels. Their driving, collecting, and match cadence have been top-notch this week. We'll see them at the Peachtree District Champs, where they'll debut as the team with the best chance to win it all.
Oh my God. Wow. I still can't believe that a wooden robot is playing this game. That absolutely blows my mind with this. But 1771 has been really good. One of the best teleop scores from in the previous years, and their auto this year has been really good as well too, like Ari said. So it's awesome to see them. It's awesome to see Peachtree get some awesome representation. This is another team that I'd really like to see seed number 1 and take a division. This is a team that has earned it, and I really am interested to see more of this team. This is your lock for Peachtree between them and Walden Robotics as well too. Those two teams, I don't see how at least one of them, if not both, pair up together and win Peachtree.
I'll give you minus 450 odds, Justin. You taking it?
minus 450. I'd have to parlay it with a couple other things. I think those are tough. Those are tough.
Ryan's cold take of the week.
We got to do
over under 110 points winning alliance score.
Oh, I'm gonna hammer the over.
Okay, that was a bad line.
We can do some steak bets where you buy somebody a steak dinner if you're right or if you're wrong.
I like that. On our team, we do slice of pizza.
We should.
Tacos are cool too.
Yeah. Definitely a fan of 1771.
Congrats to 1771, by the way. Sincerely, I know we
Yeah.
joke around a lot on this. This is a badass robot, and congratulations to them for building another one. 2 years ago, one of my favorite ones. I'll just end with the last joke, and I'm sure they're going to hear it forever. I hope the humidity's low at Houston. That's all I can hope for.
All right, we're going to move on to our 10 spot here this week. No stranger to our
11.
top 25 this season. Hold on.
11 spot.
11. I can count. We're going to move on to our 11 spot, and I'm going to update our PowerPoint. No stranger to our top 25 this season. They've made at least the top 50 every single week this season. It's Team 118, the Robonuts. Out of Houston, Texas, and Clear Creek Independent School District, 118 was the winner of the Caddy District, the Tallahassee Regional, the Houston District, the Space City District, Impact Award winners at the Space City District as well. With the most matches of any team this season and the most wins, 118's record of 69-10-1 is nothing short of impressive. Their gameplay style has evolved throughout the season, and seeing them here every week has enforced that this could be 118's best robot ever. Starting the match with a far side auto, I think my favorite thing about the evolution of 118's play and a direct result of their collect from anywhere, shoot from anywhere archetype is the way that they start their matches by sweeping the center notes that they miss, and they shoot them all into their zone. We talked about passing, and Ryan, I'm sure you can chime in later, but this setup really just stands out to me. We'll see them again at the First in Texas District Champs this weekend before they take their 1 week off before the Houston Championship.
Lazy. How could they take a week off? I don't understand. This kind of feels like voter fatigue, like LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, MVP voting, like voter fatigue.
I like that concept.
Better than 111 or better than 11. I think they're so good. They're my favorite archetype, right? The intake from anywhere, shoot from anywhere. By far the most fun archetype to watch, and there aren't very many teams that can pull it off like they do.
Yeah, at least I think general consensus though has flipped quite a bit on this team. Where you look at where they were a couple weeks ago, and they had a very early exit. I think it was at Green Country or something like that. Yeah, this team has just really turned it on since then. And I remember in clips of the week last week where we saw them literally just Pac-Man up like 3-4 notes right away and score them all in and within a few seconds. Awesome robot and awesome just general game strategy as well too. I think that's going to take them very far. Another team that I can't wait to see. 118's robot every single year obviously is impressive, but what I think is really impressive is just how far they've come this year in terms of their optimization and getting the robot to be an elite team once again.
Getting to that level of optimization while having events every single weekend is something too. Like, we struggle to tune autos at events. I don't know how they're just managing to get to this level and continue to grow every single week. It's crazy. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely insane for that as well. So we got a couple things we're going to be doing here. We have our clips of the week coming up in just a little bit. We also have our first giveaway starting a little bit as well too. So lots of cool stuff coming up. But first, let's once again thank our friends at Kettering University for their continued support here at Fun FRC. Scholarship are closing very soon for their first scholarship. So if you're interested in getting that extra $5,000 a year to go to Kettering University, if you are accepted as well too, make sure you do apply at kettering.edu/first. And if you're looking for next year as well too, for a great university, a place that's got a awesome first center, esports programs, and one of my favorite things is their co-op program where they will help get you placed within an awesome company to start getting that experience and making money as well too while you go to school. Go to kettering.edu/first. See if Kettering is a great fit for you. It is a place that I wholeheartedly support, not just because they're giving us money, because I believe in that school. I've been there many, many times, and I've seen the products that have come out of it, and the students that have come out of it have been fantastic as well too. So go to kettering.edu/first. See if Kettering University is a great fit for you. Before we start a giveaway, I do want to talk really briefly about an interesting autonomous strategy that we saw in clips of the week where I forget which robot it was, so I apologize, but their autonomous strategy was to actually go to the center line and just quickly pick up the notes and just shoot them back towards their side with no attempt to score or anything like that. And they were actually able to deprive the other alliance of picking up any center line notes past their first one. Is that something that you guys think could be a viable strategy going to like DCMP and championships, like where they're just, instead of you give up the auto score, but you're potentially, taking more away from your line or from your opponents as well?
Well, Tyler, if I look to my right, we are currently working on roughly that autonomous mode. So
all right,
we call it the mutually assured destruction auto. If we're going against an alliance that we feel will be ahead of us coming out of auto, we can basically ensure that we're tied. So it's absolutely going to be a thing. If you can't race and beat the opponent, all you got to do is screw them up so that they can't score.
all right.
Yeah,
Very
Western
cool.
New England, we are playing the 195-1699 alliance, and actually we started it first with the 177-176 alliance. All these powerhouse teams. But we knew we weren't going to beat them in autos, so we went to the middle of the field and we spun around a lot and actually ended up collecting faster than they could in telly. So there's definitely going to be some very interesting autos that we see this week because, again, mutually assured destruction, but also destruction of the other team's auto when you're not going to actually get those notes. So very interesting stuff that we're going to see in auto coming up. Very excited for it.
The thing I'm excited about is when teams start ignoring their preload and the first action they take is driving straight back.
Yep.
I'm excited for teams to break out the stopwatches and figure out, all right, is my 1.95 second sprint to the center going to be good enough? I don't think we're going to get there at our regional, but I know that at district championships, there are going to be teams of scouts that go from division to division, timing the auto modes for the top teams.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that literally week one, and Ozone Robotics did that against us. They had their preload just up against their bumper, and they just flew to the middle as fast as they could. So yeah, we're definitely going to see it.
Love it. All right, let's start our first giveaway of the evenings from our friends at Sword Drive Specialties for a SDS Timeline t-shirt. I really want one of these. These are really cool. So if you're interested in winning this, type in SDS Timeline in chat. That's your opportunity to win. Those who are subscribed to our YouTube channel, which is absolutely free, are going to get some extra luck. So make sure you click that subscribe button for extra chances to win. If you do win, please go to firstupdatesnow.com/winner. We'll remind you a whole bunch of times during this. And since you're getting a t-shirt, please put in your size or you get extra small. Which can be fun as well too. So SDS Timeline, type that in chat right now. Thanks again to Sword Drive Specialties. We're going to draw for this after our number 6 team. So let's get into our top 10 here. Ryan, who do you got in the number 10 spot?
Yeah, so the first team cracking our top 10 hails from Piedmont, California. It's team 8033, Highlander Robotics. With their first blue banner in team history, 8033 has been a team on the rise in California. Two-time finalists in 2023 and another finalist appearance this season has 8033 right on the edge of breaking through in a major way. Their event losses have come from the likes of 5940 and 1323, which really goes to show just how stacked California is. 8033's Impact Award win is a win for everybody, and a great California team earns a well-deserved spot at the championship. At the Orange County Regional this past week, in addition to winning Impact, 8033 was also the first overall pick to 5199, and they made a deep playoff run and came away with third place at the event. Next up for 8033 is the World Championship in Houston, where they'll look to make it consecutive years with deep playoff runs at the World Championship.
Yeah, Peninsula or Highland. Sorry, I was confused Peninsula Highlander for some reason. But yeah, Highlander Robotics, a team. I agree with you, Ryan. Definitely on the rise for things. I mean, they're an 8,000 team, right? So like when you go into something like that, they haven't had too many years to get to the level they are. They've been very impressive through. There are a couple things, you know, when I watch them, I think there are some opportunities for their cycles to get a little bit quicker. I see them occasionally shooting from the speaker area. I'd like to see them get a little bit more comfortable shooting from a little bit further back as well too. But overall, I mean, we're nitpicking here. It's a phenomenal robot for things and very well deserved of the top 10 spot in what was a difficult event as well too to win.
Yeah, the fact that we can nitpick things and like have things for them to get better is one thing. You know, like there's some top teams where you're like, oh, that cycle's just so optimized already that I don't know where they can go from here. But this team has room for them to get better. And honestly, really excited to see them on the top 25. Like, definitely a team that I've had my eye on for the past few years, and very excited to see them kind of cracking into that well-known beyond their region kind of thing.
All right. At number 9, another California team, Code Orange, team 3476. At 20-7 on the season, Code Orange has found a lot of success. Once known as a team with more division championship wins than regional wins, 3476 has broken their regional slump in recent years and with a hard-earned regional win at the Orange County Regional. That brings their total regional win count to 6, while they have won a crazy 5 championship divisions. Code Orange was the second overall pick at the Orange County Regional, the team 7157 Robotics. These top-tier California teams, along with 5285, swept away through the playoffs with the greatest amount of resistance actually coming in their first match against the number 8 Alliance. 3476 unique arm enables them to play every element of the game effectively, and they're going to be looking to even their banner count and get another division win when they get to the World Championship.
Have you seen this team do the trap? It is so fun. So they have this big arm that comes up, and then literally they sit there, they put their arm all the way up, and then they shoot it into the trap from the floor. They lost me a bet this season because I said that no teams were going to hit the trap from sitting on the floor without climbing, and they do it.
Are they doing any sort of like we've seen like Beak Squad use like a blower motor or something like that? Are they doing anything like that, or is it just the angle that they're shooting from sort of thing?
It's just the angle that they're shooting from and the fact that they're so high up.
Huh.
That's cool.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, I'm trying to look unfortunately the match that we had prepped in finals 2, they don't do it. So I was trying to look in the video to see if they were or not, but definitely that's something I'll check out afterwards. That's really cool.
It's behind the bumpers material right there, Tyler.
I hope so, yeah.
All right, next up at number 8, we have one of the top teams in Illinois, team 2338, Gear It Forward. 2338 has figured out how to collect RPs during qual matches with the best of them. They ranked second at their first event, the Central Illinois Regional, and they ranked first with a ranking score of 3.3 at the Midwest Regional this past week. 2338 had a perfect 4.0 ranking score through their first 6 matches in quals, which put them in a strong position to ride out the event in the driver's seat. They selected 359, the Hawaiian kids, out of a very stacked Midwest field. Despite dropping a playoff match against the 6th seed Alliance, captained by Wildstang, 2338 would get their revenge in the finals and come away with consecutive wins to capture their first blue banner of the season. The small strategy changes that they made between their loss to the 6th seed and then the finals matches against them can really teach us a lot about how impactful strategy is in this game. Good luck to gear it forward at the championship, and I'm looking forward to seeing the what you bring there.
We'll have their behind the bumper should be out tomorrow, or if you're watching this on YouTube, the day it comes out, it should be the same day, so Wednesday as well too. So I haven't had a chance. I saw them at CRR, but frankly, I didn't get a chance to really dive into them too much there. So I'm very looking forward to the behind the bumpers segment, so I can learn more about this team. This is a team we've had on behind the bumpers a lot, so a team that I'm very familiar with. I've interviewed this team many times, so really cool to see how well they're doing it. And I think we're getting to that point where we'll start seeing it. This might be their best robot yet. And overall, cool to see how well they did at what was an insanely stacked Midwest Regional. Ryan, I mean, you nailed it on the head there. That event was just so difficult, so tough, and so deep. Take number 1 seed, very well earned for them.
I'm going to say, too, 2338, when I'm watching them play, it's like, wow, they're really good. But, are they the number 1 team at this event? I kept questioning that, and they just kept winning and kept getting 4 RPs, and then they just kept doing it, right? And I'm like, I'm watching this team, and they're actually the best team at the event, and they have so much room for improvement. I think they're going to be crazy come championships. They're so smooth in what they do, and I think that's what makes them so good. They just don't mess up, and yeah, they're going to be fun to watch at champs. That's all I'll say.
By the way, I totally blanked that I moved 2338's video up in the production schedule, and I released it earlier today. So that just tells you like how forgetful I am of what comes out when on things. But I've moved that's like 3 videos ago. So, well, yeah. So you can go check them out now if you want to dive in more about them. I didn't do the editing on that video, so I didn't really get a chance to dive into it yet.
All right. Next up, coming in at number 7 on our list is Team 7157 Robotics out of Brea, California. 7157 was almost a tragic miss at the championships in the crazy competitive California regional system. It took until their 3rd event for the team to finally break through and qualify for champs. 7157 qualified in style by teaming up with Code Orange and dominating in the playoffs. 7157 Robotics has improved dramatically throughout the season and really impressed with everything on the line this week. They're now at a point where I think they're going to be a high pick on their championship field. Their turret, it's insanely fast. Their drivetrain, it's insanely fast. They have a skilled drive team that make them every bit as dangerous as they were last year when they were the 2nd overall pick on the Johnson division. Next up for 7157 is the California District Championship. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, California. Next up for 7157 is the FRC Championship, which might as well be the California District Championship with how many great California teams we're going to have there.
Yeah, Robotics, like you said, early exit at their previous event. Really cool to see them do so well. This was a team we're coming out. I was very convinced for this year that they would be like right out of the gate, like that new powerhouse in California for how well they did last year and how impressive their robots were. I'm glad to see they've been able to climb that mountain and get back up there again into a top California tier status. This team really should be. So really cool team. I had a chance to interview them last year. Awesome group of individuals to interview as well too. So I'm looking forward to catching up with this team and seeing the robot more in person at championships.
Couldn't agree more, Tyler. In our 6th spot, we have Team 987, the High Rollers from Las Vegas, Nevada. 987 really stepped up their game between the Silicon Valley Regional and the Las Vegas Regional. The High Rollers Alliance absolutely dominated the Vegas Regional with scores of 119 or higher and an average margin of victory of over 60 points during the playoffs. 987 and their alliance partners 4414 and 3009 were insanely effective. 987's Steel Auto, where they drop their preload, race to the center, and then pick up their preload later, is absolutely a preview of the metagame for championships. This consistent auto routine, elite turret, and skilled driving for 987 has them in a strong position to win their first championship division since 2017. This feels like one of their best robots. We've said it a few times so far, but for 987, I really believe it. And I'm really excited to see what they're going to do in Houston.
Yeah, this team really improved from their last event. Their autonomous has been pretty good the whole way. They won the autonomous award at their first event, right? But I think they're driving their teleop really just their cycle times really just started getting optimized very, very well. Coming into this event, I would have put initially, I think I would have put Paradise on above High Rollers in regards to what team I would think was going to pair up with 4414. I mean, minus the name and number recognition that 987 has. 97 had some work to do, and they did it. And overall, they were very well deserving. They were the second best robot at the Las Vegas Regional for things. And overall, just a very, very good performance by them. And I still think they have opportunities to get a little bit better as well, too. So this team overall, great improvement. Great to see them. They're once again another great group of individuals to interview, and I go way back with a lot of people on 987. So cool to see them back in a top seed again and doing very well. So with that said, we're going to hop in. We got a few things in regards to our top 5. Let's start off with, we do have a giveaway to start to draw for at least. And once again, that's from our friends at Sword Drive Specialties. So SDS Timeline was your keyword to type in. If you do win, please go to firstupdatesnow.com/winner in order to claim that. And the winner is going to be Unusual Arrow. Congratulations, Unusual Arrow. Please go to firstupdatesnow.com/winner. Fill in all that stuff, including your t-shirt size as well too. And thanks again to Sword Drive Specialties for the awesome giveaway. We'll have another giveaway as well too that start in just a little bit. But before we do that, let's go into our top 50 teams this week, our 26 through 50, and give some shout outs as well too. So we'll bring these up on screen so you have an opportunity to see a little bit more about which teams landed in our top 50 on here. And then we're going to give a few shout outs as well too. A lot of great teams in this list, some surprises, right, in regards to teams that maybe didn't make the top 25 as well too. But let's give some shout outs here. Justin, let's start with you. Who's your shout out for this week of teams that made the top 50?
I'm sorry, I've been so good with my mute button. I'm gonna give a shout out to 172 Northern Force. They're a 1999 rookie. I just want to double check that real quick. 1996 rookie, and they were able to win their first blue banner, winning the UNH district event. So an awesome thing for them. So I definitely want to give them a shout out for that.
Very cool.
My shout out this week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna transition. Look there.
No,
Is 5406 Celtex. They are an open alliance team this year, and I've really enjoyed following along with their build thread. They have such an interesting robot this year. It's really well packaged and incredibly complex just in the amount of space that they have, but they have it tuned in at this event. They were the #1 seed and finalists at their first event. They had a little bit of an early exit at the next event that they competed at, but that robot has really impressed me all season, and following along their build thread to just see how they came up with that and how they executed on it was even more interesting. So shout out to Celtics.
For me, I'm going to jump in. 8096, they 3 regional team that I know personally has struggled this season. They have overcome a lot from the first regional they competed in, where they didn't even get picked to make the playoffs, to ranking second at Midwest, which is one of the most, like we've talked about, one of the most competitive regionals in the Midwest area. 8096 has had an amazing turnaround. When we create the annual thread of teams that we're missing from the World Championship, undoubtedly they're going to be one of the teams that gets noted. I think, unfortunately, for the second year in a row, Cash Money won't be at champs, but they are an amazing team, one to watch out for in the future seasons, but really fun to watch their progression this year.
Yeah, vastly improved
Great
from
name,
their first event, like very, very much so. So mine's going to go to Tech Bikes 2054 coming out of Michigan. This is a team, big boxy robot of things, but looking really good out there. A team that I think deserve to be in the top 25 this week as well too. They're a team that, when I look at, overall, I think the top 50 looks overall pretty good to me. But this is a team that I would have popped up in the top 25 somewhere. Quick cycle times out of them. Like I said, a robot that looks a little bit different than some of the other ones out there, but overall still a great machine as well too. So cool. So that's our top 50 on there. We're going to start before we get into our snubs of the week. These are teams that didn't make the top 50 at all. Let's start our next giveaway. Give me just a second here. We'll start our next giveaway for our friends at 1720 Fixed Gears, who are giving away a pair of the Bathawks as well too. And if you don't have Bathawks, like I swear, every team I go to around at least has one. So if your team doesn't for some reason, make sure you go either win a pair here or go check them out on their website at fixedgears.org, or you can buy these at Andy Mark as well too. So these are designed and manufactured by East Central Indiana Robotics. 1720 Fixed Gears are the people who created these. It's a voltmeter, which can take the place of a battery flag. It measures the battery voltage without a discernible drain during the competition time frame. You can leave these in your batteries like the whole time, and you'll be in good shape for these as well too. So once again, type in Indiana and wish them best of luck for the Indiana District Championships coming up as well too. That's your opportunity to win. We'll be drawing for that in just a little bit. But before we get into our top 5, we got to talk about some snubs here. Justin, talk to me about your snub of the week in week number 5.
So I'm going to go with the Bomb Squad. It's definitely not the best robot that they have ever built. And Midwest was just obviously a very tough regional, a deep regional. So would be tough for them to necessarily find a ton of success at such a deep event. But I do want to shout out to them and their robot. They did win the Arkansas Regional Week 2, going 16-1. So they do have a great robot. Midwest was just tough. So just want to give them a shout out here.
All right, who you got it for your snub?
I'm going to continue on over. My snub of the week is 8013, the Boston Lions. So they had their second event of the year this past weekend. They were at the WPI district event. We competed with them at Hartford, where they actually seated first. They are an impressively slick machine for this year. They have an elevator on a shooter, and they can use that for the amp, but also they have one of the most consistent trap scorings on the field. They will hit that every match, regardless if it's a playoff match or a qualification match, and it takes them less than 5 seconds to do so. So just very impressive robot that they've built, especially coming off of their season last year. They built a very solid robot last year, but they just needed the extra oomph to get it there. And this year they absolutely have it. So it's been really cool to see them going from Hartford onwards to WPI, and now they're in our district, or they're in our division at New England District Camps, so we'll get to play with and against them again. So very excited about that.
Brian, how about for you?
Yeah, for me, it's Team 930 Mukwonago Bears. Did I get that right, Tyler?
You did, yes.
So 930, I think, are they the only team to triple banner at an event this year? I think they, at the Wisconsin Regional, yeah, they triple bannered. And, I think that speaks a little bit to how crazy Midwest was, that a team that triple bannered and, previous top 25 team that didn't even make the top 50 is crazy to me. They're an awesome team. They're going to do damage at the World Championship when they make the playoffs there. It's 930 is an awesome team, fun to work with. Another turreted team that, they started off the year a little bit slow in Duluth, but then they got working. And when they got working, they're fantastic robot.
Do you know, Ryan, because at Wisconsin, they were just a turret speaker score only. Do you know if they've made any improvements on that? I know we did film behind the bumpers with them at Midwest, but I have not seen it yet.
Yeah, I think they obviously focus on the speaker. That's their specialty. They drafted 6574 to handle the amp significantly for them. They are capable of doing the amp. I think they strategically position themselves to do what they're good at, which is taking a lot of speaker shots.
Sure, fair enough on that. My sum of the week this week is going to go out to a team from Texas, and that is 9128 It Can Robotics. This team has just been absolutely stellar early on. I mean, once again, a 9,000 team that has just been really on par for things. And It Can Robotics, if you have not had an opportunity to see them yet, they won Plano a couple weeks ago, and then they played at Space City, and they got to match 13. But it was an interesting, set of alliance selections where they got picked by the number 1 seed on there. So this is a team that, looking at, fit champs on there, is a definite contender to compete at fit champs. I wouldn't quite put them in a lock position, but overall, ICANN's really good. They have a sister or JV team as well too that's been doing very good things. So for a team that is this young, they have everything going in the right direction for them. So I want to give a big shout out to ICANN for a team that definitely deserved to be at least in the top 50. I think is a team, once again, in Texas, definitely a team you should be keeping an eye out for. So as we get into our top 5 on there, we'll draw for that giveaway after our number 1. So don't forget to type in the keyword Indiana for that. But with that said, we got 5 teams to count on down. Justin, who's going to be in our number 5th spot?
All right, in the number 5 spot, we've got Team 604 from San Jose, California. It's Quicksilver, 43-7-1 overall, with the winners of the Sacramento and Monterey Bay regionals. So it's been an awesome season for 604, and they followed up their Sacramento win with an impressive number 2 seed showing and earning the first overall selection by 13-23. I remember 604 as a perennial impact team, back maybe 5 or so years ago. And now the robots are really kicking butt as well. The combination of 13-23 and 604, along with 2035, was unstoppable. They were the only alliance to earn over 100 points in each one of their playoff matches, and only one other alliance was able to even get over 100 points. They only were able to do that one. So truly a dominating performance. If you haven't seen or haven't had a chance to see 604 in action, please go check out some of their videos. Check out and see what they're all about. And good luck to Team 604 in Houston, Quicksilver.
Yeah, we talked about Quicksilver a couple of weeks ago as well too, as they won the Sacramento regional as well. And this is a team that this year they are in the top of California teams this year, and well, honestly, in the world as well too, right? When you're in top of California, I think that kind of instantly qualifies you for being a top of world team as well too. And I just am going to bring out StatBox now because I'm curious to see where their rank is for things. Obviously, we can see their EPA on screen of 48.6, and of course, as I type it in StatBox, says the team's not found. So I guess they've been banned from first. But overall, phenomenal team. Here we go. Get this: 5th in California, 6th in the U.S., and 8th worldwide.
Yep.
Like think about that. That is just
wow.
That is
Crazy.
just insane. And this is why I won't go too far down this rabbit hole, but like you have some other areas who like claim like they have the best teams and stuff like that. When you're the 5th best team in California and the 8th best team, at least EPA stats in the world, to me, this team goes into other areas and will just dominate. Like this is a team in a division. If you're not, if 254 and 1323 and Citrus are not like in your division, the 604 is the number 1 seed in that as well too. So congrats to them on a phenomenal machine, and really looking forward to seeing what they bring at champs as well too. And they're definitely going to give any of those teams we just aforementioned a big run for their money as well.
I mean, they've already shown that they can beat 254, 1678. They ranked higher than both of them, right?
You're right. Yeah.
And in the finals at Silicon Valley, they took a match from Citrus's alliance and forced it to 3. So they're a good team for sure. All right. Moving on. In the 4th spot, I've got Team 359 from Waialua, Hawaii. It's the Hawaiian Kids, an impressive 43-3-1 overall, and with the winners of the Canadian, San Diego, and Midwest regionals, as well as picking up the Impact Award at Midwest. So it's been a season to remember for 359 as they have earned 4 blue banners. This past weekend at a tough Midwest regional, they earned the number 3 seed and were selected to join the number 1 alliance. The alliances up and down Midwest were very strong, and round 4 match against the Wild Stang led number 6 alliance, kicked the number 1 seed to the lower bracket. But then in the lower bracket finals, they were able to sneak out a 2-point victory in the lower bracket finals to earn a spot in the finals, where they were once again up against the number 6 alliance, but were able to come out ahead twice in a row against the number 6 seed to earn their 3rd regional win of the season. So congrats on everything they've been able to accomplish so far this season, and good luck in Houston to the Hawaiian Kids, 359.
359 has not won a championship division going back to 2015. That's a long stretch for a team that good, and I would put money that they're going to break that streak here.
If you ever
How
want to
much
be
money?
humbled by something, go look up their Blue Alliance page and just watch like how much in regards to sponsorship this team has, how much they have put together such an incredible program to get all this sponsorship. And then of course they got 4 blue banners right below that as well too. So it is absolutely incredible what this team is. This is a team for everyone to emulate, in my opinion, for things where not just in the robot, but in the way that this team has just built up from nothingness into being just one of the most impactful teams out there. They're a Hall of Fame team that's eligible for Impact Awards again, so that's why they're getting the Impact Award at the Midwest Regional, which tells you they're not a team that's just riding on the coattails of what is Hall of Fame from a long time ago, right? They're a team that continually is doing the work and putting it in to earn that spot as well too, and building some badass robots as well too. This is a team we mentioned this in prior weeks, but it's every single year we keep saying this is the best robot this team's ever built. It's been like that for the last like 3-4 seasons now. So 359, I'm
Yeah, but
really
it's
looking
true
forward
this
to seeing.
year.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I mean it's very much so true on it, and I'm looking forward to see what they can bring as well too at championships. Great throughput of this team and very well deserved and well done to everybody on that team.
So a cold take and then a fun fact. Cold take, Glenn is potentially, not even potentially, Glenn is the best fundraiser in FRC.
Oh my God,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I want to say their annual budget is something like $250,000 or it's something bat crazy, right? Is it more? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a fun fact is I want to say they have the most outfitted machine shop in the state of Hawaii at their school. So they've got the most capabilities for manufacturing in the state of Hawaii. I don't know that to be 100% fact, but I've heard that. I'm pretty sure that's a fact.
I would put their facilities not in Hawaii. I would put their facilities up against any team in the country as far as their machining abilities.
Oh, I'm talking like professional companies too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
They're crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what if I've seen multiple teams now adding the amount of money they get from sponsors to their Blue Alliance page. I don't know if that's new or how that's happening, but yeah, they get a lot of money. Whoops. Moving on to the top 3. I've got Team 2056 from Stony Creek, Ontario, Canada. It's OP Robotics, 34-0-0, undefeated in 2024. And the winners, the Newmarket and McMaster University district events. So they have an average match win margin of over 20 points in for each of their matches this season. Their closest match score has been within 5 points, and it's only happened one time. It's been true domination that reminds me a lot of 254 in 2018. Keep in mind, they don't have the ability to trap either. So this is all just running clean, fast cycles and sporting some of the consistent autonomous modes you're going to see in FRC. So we talked a little bit about it earlier in the show, but it's going to be interesting to see how their undefeated season progresses as they head into Ontario Provincial Champs and see if their lack of a trap score hurts their seeding and potentially how that ends up. But it hasn't certainly hurt them so far this season. And good luck to 2056 OP Robotics. And I was going to call this the underrated of the century. But I don't know if the voters may be looking to the trap score as a reason to keep them outside of the top spot this season. But
I mean, if people didn't think the trap was a trap, and then they watch OP and they still don't think the trap is a trap, I think they're lost. They're hopeless, and they can be forgotten.
I love this robot. The 2056 is designed every year. You look at it and you're like, yeah, that's the robot. Like, their design just makes so much sense and they execute it so well. And seeing 2056 up here, not a surprise, but I love seeing them. Love that robot.
I mean, the top 3 are all amazing teams, but OP is so good. I don't know. I'm biased because I love OP, but I don't know. They're really good.
You gotta love OP.
Tower, what are your thoughts on the lack of trap scoring as they head into Ontario Provincial Champs? Is Tower muted or am I muted?
I'm not hearing Tyler.
Damn it.
Not either.
So I've been good the last couple of weeks. Now I get muted in chat now too. So, here's the thing. I agree with you, Justin, in regards to, I think it's going to hurt them in qual seeding. It's not going to hurt them from winning matches. But I think at this level of competition at Ontario provincials, you're going to need higher than a 3.0 rank score in order to seed number one, right? So either they're just going to ask for some help to get out there, which is possible, right? Or for them, I don't know. Maybe something changes. Who knows on that? Maybe they don't care. I mean, to a certain extent, they're just like, you know what? We can play with whoever. We're confident in what our winning ability is going to be once we get the playoffs, and maybe that's good enough for them as well too. I mean, this is an incredible machine, and I can't wait to see it in person.
In a D-champ environment, almost all the teams are going to be able to climb. And if you've ever been on an alliance with Tyler Holtzman, if you can climb and you have the potential to get that ranking point via other means other than the trap, you're going to get that ranking point. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest if they got a 4.0 ranking average without a trap mechanism. If a team can do it, OP can do it.
All right, Ryan.
It would surprise me.
Line. Go ahead, Ari.
It would surprise me, but you know.
All right, plus 800 that it happens.
I'm gonna put the ranking score average line at 3.25.
Wow.
And you can decide if you take the over or the under.
I'd take the over.
You can hammer the over.
I would take the under, honestly. I'm taking the under. A team that doesn't trap, you're hoping that they win every match. Like I don't doubt that they're going to get the RP for notes every single match on things, but you're essentially saying win every match plus at least in at least in a quarter of them. They also have to get the RP for the stage as well. I mean, I guess it's possible.
So it's 12 matches. That's 3 matches.
Yeah, that's true.
They're going to do it.
Math. So
it'll be math. It'll be interesting. All right. So another great discussion, guys. Thank you for that. All right. All the drama is in the 2 spot here. And I've got team 1323 from Madera, California. It's Madtown Robotics, 31-2 overall, and with the winners the Central Valley and Monterey Bay regionals. So Madtown in 2024 has continued to build their resume as one of the best teams in the world. Their fridge-style robots continually operate with the consistency and excellence is required to maintain their level of success. At Monterey, they were the number 1 seed, and they teamed up with fellow top 5 team, 604, and they were dominant. 1323 handled the amp side notes and auto, and 604 ran source side. And the Alliance averaged 133 points, which in this game is just a wild score. So I also think they have one of the most confident looking trap scoring mechanisms in FRC. When I see the robot hit the stage, they kind of grab and almost lock onto the front of it. It really seems like it's unquestionable whether the ring is going to end up in the trap. So just an awesome robot from Madtown, and great job, certainly to say the least, and good luck to them in Houston. 1323 Madtown Robotics.
Their trap mechanism is like a sloth. There we go.
That's gonna be like a quote under their banner somewhere or something like that.
My favorite part about 1323 is that, while a lot of like high level teams are trying to build smaller, they're going to 25 by 25 frames and, trying to squeeze every inch out of their robot. 1323 says, no, we're just going to do what we do. We're going to build a fridge. We're going to dominate. Yep. And they do every single year.
The other thing, kind of interesting. I just want to point out, because literally just popped up on the video, and I'm going to put it back up on screen in a second here. You talk about the size of a fridge, and you watch them. They're right in the middle of the screen by the stage here. I mean, they're not able to get to the source right here. It takes them a little bit longer for things like that. Could that size potentially be used against them from defensive strategy teams or defensive strategy alliances?
I mean, it hurts them on the margins maybe, but I don't know that it hurts them in a meaningful way. I think by the time we get to championships, if you're playing source defense, you're probably falling behind a good triple offense alliance, especially an alliance that has 1323 on it.
Yeah.
A fair point.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It sure is. All right. So I guess we'll wrap up here in the number 1 spot for week 5. In 2024, I've got team 4414 from Ventura, California. It's High Tide, 39-4 overall. We're the winners of the Ventura and Las Vegas regionals. So after coming up short in their first event, failing to reach the finals. 44-14 has been on a tear since then, only losing one match over the last few weeks. After their undefeated Ventura Regional, they decided to rebuild and bring a new robot to Tower in Las Vegas. Their new robot only suffered a loss in Qualis 57, where the 987 got the better of them, and then the two teamed up along with 4501 to head into the playoffs. To be fair, the Alliance did not face a significant challenge, winning 5 straight matches with an average margin of victory of 66 points,
Yeah.
which is a true blowout. So congrats to 44-14 on an awesome regional season, where they will certainly be looking for a return trip to Einstein to defend their 2023 World Championship win.
A rebuild is super ambitious. You have a team that was doing really well and said, you know what? We want more. And you got to give it to them for doing that, right? Like, I mean, it's so cool
Sure.
that they did. And, you look at where their shots are. This team is shooting not 100%, but shooting pretty reliably from that what is the wing line as well too. So, I mean, when that came out and they started doing that in practice matches, that was just nuts. By the way, like just to be able to shave off that amount of time in their cycles, if they get that to being, at a 95%, rate or something that you would expect of a team that's shooting up closer on the stage, I don't know how you stop something like that because you're just traveling so much less distance that they're able to get those cycles in. It's super impressive to see the team, able to do the amp as well too quite quickly. Trap wise needs some work still for them. So there are some opportunities for this team to still grow and improve. But overall, I mean, this team just came out and just absolutely dominated the Las Vegas Regional. The only thing I will say, the one match they lost was against 987 and Paradise Robotics, where to me, once again, that just shows that this game is potentially pretty well balanced, that you had an elite level team against two, pretty next stage right below that level teams, and they were able to take out 44-14 in that match. So nobody's invincible, but 44-14 looks really, really good, and their strategy overall is really good too.
So how many top teams have rebuilt this year? It feels like it's dramatically more, way more than normal.
Yeah.
And I would go out on a limb, and maybe this isn't a crazy take, but I think 44-14's maybe was the best and arguably is the most significant as we go into the championships. They're going to be a threat on their field. They're going to be a lock on their field to win it. Were they going to be a lock with their old robot design? Maybe, probably still. But I think they're that much better now that, I don't know, they've moved the needle with their rebuild. It was well worth it for them.
Yeah, it elevates them for sure to a new level for things. And it's kind of almost like last year. I mean, obviously they won the World Championship last year as well too. But to me, like that's almost kind of that difference for like now that extra rebuild puts them up even an extra notch. So that, that one little extra notch that it's not a huge difference, but maybe just enough for them to continue and go back to back for things is very, very possible in my opinion. One thing I just want to mention that somebody in chat says, I hate the rebuild meta. I do think this is the way that FRC is going. It's very much so the way that FTC and VRC programs go for things. And I know that FRC is a much more condensed season, but it's very possible this is just what you're going to continue to see with the no bag, with the continuation of that all the way through. Teams are going to continue to rebuild, tweak, and modify in many different ways. I just saw something from Robotics recently posted that they did some rebuild as well too on their robot. I think that's just very possible in the way things are going to be from now on in the future. I mean, that's just the way that FRC has evolved. And if you don't choose to do that, I think you're going to get left behind.
I would also throw out there that we did it. 6045 did a big rebuild this year. The amount that my kids learned by going through that iterative process and figuring out what they didn't like about our week 1 robot and making a week 6 robot that we're happy with and taking the lessons that we learned. The engineering design process is what it is for a reason. I think it makes the program that much more valuable for the teams that have the resources to pull it off.
Yeah, that's key. The teams that have the resources to pull it off.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and draw for our giveaway from our friends at 1720 Fix Gears. Once again, Indiana was your keyword for that. If you do win, please go to firstupdatesnow.com/winner. And it's going to be Matt V. Congratulations, Matt. Make sure you go to firstupdatesnow.com/winner. Please a reminder that giveaways take usually up to 2 weeks to ship out, especially with championships coming up. It's crazy time right now, everybody. So please bear with us and bear with the vendors who are supplying these as well, too. and shipping these out as well. So thank you everybody for tuning into week 5 of the FRC Top 25. Special thanks to all those who clicked the subscribe button to stay up to date on fun content here on YouTube, and to anybody who also decided to join up through YouTube Join as either a supporter or member, where we give some exclusive benefits, including early access to scheduled videos for our YouTube members as well too. So if that's something that interests you, whenever we can schedule stuff out, especially during like comp time, like Friday, Saturday, Sundays, when myself and Samantha, who's our editor as well too, are gone, you'll get early access to some of those videos as well too. And 100% of that money goes back to our correspondents and contributors as well, to give them a thank you for that too. Last week at FRC Top 25s, next week, it's already happened, everybody. It's our last week next week, where every team will be eligible for voting. Next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern is when the show is. Polls will open on Sunday by 5 p.m. Eastern at firstupdatesnow.com/FRC Top 25. We'll post on Chief, our Discord, socials, all that stuff as well too. So make sure you tune in for that. Big thank you everybody for coming on. Quick around the horn. Ari, let's start with you. New England District Champs coming up. Any last things you want to cap off this evening with in regards to New England District Championships?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Going to get some behind the bumpers there. Looking forward to a super competitive Richardson division. So yeah, catch me there.
All right, good luck to you. Ryan, you're competing this week as well too. Good luck to you, sir.
Yep, Granite City Regional, first of its kind, 10 minutes away from my house. It'll be the first regional event that I can drive to without having to get a hotel since 2013.
Justin, what do you got your eyes on this week?
Well, obviously, good luck to Ari and Ryan in your events this weekend. We're waiting on Houston. We've made some upgrades to our robot. We got L4 gearing on there, made some new autonomous modes, changed up a few things. So we're excited to wait for divisions to come out and see where we go from there. So that's where we're at.
Very cool. And actually a great segue for that. We will have a divisions preview show as well too. Time and date TBA for that. So make sure you keep that out. We're also hoping to have district championships previews as well. Kind of depends when all of them get out. I think we're pretty close to it, so we should be okay, but we'll see on that. I will be at Ontario Provincials this weekend. Looking forward to meeting many of you. It will be my first time at a Ontario event, so I'm very excited to go up for that. I'm flying in midday on Thursday, and I'll be there through the end of Ontario Provincials. So good luck to all teams competing in week 6 as you get ready for the World Championships. We wish you the best of luck, and we'll see you next time on First Updates Now. Talk to you then. Good night. This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you, and also in partnership with the following. Discover how Kettering University students engineered their success with Kettering's amazing co-op employment programs, where students earn great pay and gain valuable experience. Those accepted into Kettering University can apply for a robotics scholarship, providing up to an additional $5,000 a year in tuition assistance. Head on over to kettering.edu/first to learn more and apply.